Moths peeps, we are talking eco products. Hello and welcome back to the Cleaning Lady podcast. It's been a couple of weeks actually. Sorry, I wasn't here last week because it was my book launch. My book was unleashed to the public and it's called Tales from Under the Kitchen Sink, and the ebook will be available soon as well. So we are talking eco products and bamboo cloths, funnily enough. I didn't even know were a thing, but I got to my client's house and he'd thrown away all his microfiber cloths. Like, he had about 40 microfiber cloths and he just chucked them away. And there was absolutely nothing wrong with them, except apparently microfiber has plastic in. So he threw them all away and bought bamboo ones, which they're not really as good. You know, why would you throw away perfectly good cloths that work so well and replace them with something not as good? But he doesn't even do the cleaning. We do it. So, eco products, do you love them or hate them? And I'm not sure, if I'm honest. I'm probably leaning towards hate them. I mean, there are some that work really well, but there are a lot that don't. And, you know, as lovely as it is to have your home smelling like ethically sourced woodland fairy breath or moral superiority and rainwater, sometimes you just need a bit of bleach with a horror. So my heart always drops when I get an email from a potential customer asking if we're happy to use eco products. And I'm so tempted to reply, well, it depends if you want a clean house or not. I don't, but, I'm thinking it. So before anyone comes to me, I am not anti-eco at all. I recycle. I don't want rivers full of chemicals either, and I don't want to be breathing in chemicals. So I understand why people want fewer products in their homes. But, after more than 12 years of running a domestic cleaning business, I can tell you that there is a very big difference between eco cleaning in theory and eco cleaning when you are standing in someone's bathroom trying to remove black mold and limescale and whatever's happened in the toilet that week. Because sometimes, quite frankly, you need something that works. So I've used a lot of cleaning products over the years. Some brilliant, some terrible, some really expensive ones that do absolutely nothing except smell like, I don't know, vegan elves and freshly fallen snow. And that's what I want to talk about today. There are refill bottles, vinegar sprays, bicarbonate of soda hacks, plastic-free plant-based cleaners, and all sorts of homemade mixtures. Some of them are good, some of them really are. See, I told you not to come for me. But some eco products, which I won't name, are absolutely useless. And you just feel like you're cleaning with perfumed water. I actually remember cleaning in a house where the client only used eco products, and the house was a little bit grotty. It wasn't, you clean it, but it wasn't sparkling. Like the sink had lots of staining, and the toilet was just a bit grim. But yeah, I remember she used this online brand for all her cleaning products. And this was one of the ones that actually did smell like perfumed water, as there was absolutely no cleaning power. But inside the cleaning spray bottle, there was actually mold growing inside it. I mean, can you imagine cleaning a surface with moldy, perfumed water? I mean, that surface is probably cleaner before you've actually cleaned it with the moldy, perfumed water. And how good is the cleaning product if the product that's meant to be cleaning is itself moldy? But one of the biggest problems I've found is that some eco products really do smell very, very strong. You spray it and the whole room smells of vegan moonbeam or middle-class rainbows. Sorry, I won't make up any more names. But whatever it is it clean? Or does it just smell clean? And that's the difference when you're cleaning professionally, because you can't just rely on things smelling nice. Because if something isn't clean, then you get complaints. One of my clients actually complained quite a lot about the standing of cleaning. But guess what she wanted us to use? Plain water in a spray bottle. Plain water. Now, I'm good. But I'm not a magician. But anyway, she would point out all the limescale around the plug holes and the taps and the mould in the bathroom. She had no window in her bathroom, by the way. And there was mould in the bathroom grouting. And I explained, there wasn't enough ventilation in the bathroom and she needed something that would, just get rid of the mould, and a proper limescale remover for the limescale. And I remember she said, "We're an eco house," she said, "and I won't have it in my home. You just need to use a bit of elbow grease." Yes, elbow grease works, but elbow grease takes time. But you also need something other than water. You can clean more naturally, but if you remove the stronger products, then you often have to replace them with more time, more scrubbing and more labour. And this particular client didn't want to pay for the extra time. So what she wanted was a chemical-free miracle. And it's impossible. But actually, most of my complaints that my company gets is from clients who inflict these terrible products on us. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Clients who ask us to use their eco products. That sounds better, doesn't it? Clients who ask us to use their eco products. So they complain that the stains haven't been removed, there's a time scale, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes these products are only effective if they're used every day. But if it's only used when the cleaner comes once a week or once a fortnight, there's going to be a build-up. And that's when you need to use something a bit stronger. It's all very well only using the really strong industrial stuff when it gets to a certain point. But why let it get to the stage where it needs the industrial strength stuff when you can just use a little bit of bleach and limescale remover every time you go? Can I just say, though, that there are some really good brands out there. And I'm not saying that every eco product is crap. But, there are some brands that are useless. And that is what's so frustrating because the client doesn't realise, because they're not the ones doing the cleaning. If you want to be eco-friendly, you don't have to buy all these expensive eco products, in my opinion. One of my clients actually insists on 2 products to clean her whole house: a spray bottle of vinegar and a spray bottle of diluted dish soap. Okay, so washing up liquid and vinegar does work, and I'll get to that in a bit. But the frustrating thing about this, in this particular case, is that we're only there once a fortnight. And this client does absolutely nothing between cleans. And she also has nothing to clean the toilets with, expecting us to just spray vinegar in the toilet each time. So, of course, the toilets have those unsightly brown limescale marks in the bowl. And, the stainless steel kitchen sink has quite a lot of staining. And, the toilets, they're not really clean and germ-free. Or it doesn't feel like that anyway. So I'm not saying that vinegar and dish soap don't work at all. That's not the point. But in this situation, with that gap between cleans, vinegar and dish soap just aren't strong enough for the stains and limescale that builds up in those 2 weeks between cleans. So as I said, you don't really need loads and loads of products under your kitchen sink. You don't need all these bottles of, kitchen spray, bathroom spray, all these different products. You can actually just use washing up liquid and vinegar you can use. But sometimes you do need a little bit of bleach and you do need a bit of limescale remover if you live in a hard water area like I do. So when it comes to natural cleaning products like vinegar, baking soda, washing up liquid, do they work? Yes, they absolutely do. I've used a mixture of vinegar and baking soda on hob filters, for example, and it worked really well. Actually, I'd say better than a store-bought degreaser. So I'm not dismissing the old-fashioned methods at all. Sometimes they're brilliant, but just because vinegar and baking powder worked beautifully on a greasy hob filter, it doesn't mean it's the answer to every cleaning problem in the house. Vinegar might be natural, but it doesn't mean that it's harmless. So vinegar can... it can damage marble, it can damage certain stone surfaces, gold taps. My God, it can turn gold taps green. And it can take the shine off of some finishes. It's acidic, but it can also irritate your throat if you're breathing it in while cleaning with it. So, yes, it's natural, but so are stinging nettles. And it doesn't mean that you want stinging nettles rubbed all over your kitchen. Another thing, you should never mix vinegar with bleach because bleach and vinegar can create dangerous gases. Actually, you shouldn't mix bleach with anything, to be honest. Oh, or any product for that matter. I was doom scrolling the other day and I came across this post on Instagram and it showed a toilet being cleaned. So you can guess my algorithm. It's all toilets and cleaning. It started off with like some kind of toilet cleaner. Then it was like a powder, and then it was a foam, and then it was something else. And then they put loads of stuff on the brush, and then they were scrubbing it, and it made this great big foam. And then they flushed it, and then they put all these little, I don't know what they were, like little flour gel things all over the inside of the bowl. I guess that's just to freshen it. But, it's so unnecessary to use all those products, and it's so dangerous as well. So don't mix your products, although if you're a cleaner listening to this, then you already know. So bleach on its own, used properly, definitely has its place, and it's brilliant. But bleach is not the cure for everything. For example, it's not a limescale remover. And that's another thing, actually, that some of my clients get wrong. Because actually, I can't tell you how many times I've been to visit a new client and they've said to me, oh, I've got all this limescale in the toilet and I can't get rid of it and I've used loads of bleach, but it's still there. But yeah, it will be, because bleach doesn't remove limescale. It can help with stains and it can disinfect. It can dissolve fecal matter. It can make white or stainless steel sinks look brighter, but If the problem is limescale, then you need a specific limescale remover. Different problem, different product. And this is where cleaning knowledge really matters, actually, because people think that cleaning is just wiping things. It isn't. It's knowing what the dirt actually is. You know, is it grease? Is it soap scum, limescale, mold? Is it dust? Because each one needs a different approach and a different product. You wouldn't use the same limescale remover on a toilet bowl as you would on a chrome tap. The one designed for toilets can actually damage chrome because it's so much stronger. It all comes down to knowing which product is right for the job. Now, going back to natural products, natural doesn't always mean effective, and chemical doesn't automatically mean evil. Everything is chemicals, really. You know, water is a chemical. Vinegar is a chemical. Baking soda is a chemical. But the issue is knowing what you're using, why you're using it, and whether it's safe for that situation. There are eco brands that I do like, by the way. Ecover, I like, and I like Method. And there are some lovely small companies making plastic-free cleaning products in the form of bar soap. So this isn't about saying that all eco products are rubbish, because they're not. But some of them are. Some of them are actually a complete rip-off. They smell lovely, but they don't really clean very well. I mean, some are fine for a lightly used home, but they're probably not enough for a heavily used bathroom cleaned once a fortnight. And that's the important distinction. A product that works well for someone who wipes their sink every day may not work for a cleaner walking into 2 weeks of, you know, toothpaste, limescale, soap scum, teenage boy bathroom chaos. Now, washing up liquid is so underestimated. It is probably the best cleaning product that was ever invented, because you can use it for everything. A few drops in a mop bucket and clean the floor. You can dilute it and put it in a spray bottle. It's a brilliant degreaser. It's cheap, but again, it can't do everything. You know, it won't remove limescale. It won't remove mold in the same way that a mold spray will. It won't act like a bleach. But for everyday cleaning, it's one of the most useful products that you can have. And that's what I think people should aim for. Not a cupboard full of trendy products or 20 different bottles, just a small number of products that actually do what you need them to do. So for me, a sensible cleaning kit would be something like washing up liquid for general cleaning and grease, a decent limescale remover, because if you live in a hard water area, you do need a good limescale remover, and something suitable for mold, actually. You definitely need something if you've got mold, because also it keeps it at bay. So a bleach-based bathroom spray, for example. Vinegar, I do use vinegar in my own home, but I use it frequently. I don't just use it once every fortnight. So every couple of days, I'll put vinegar on my shower screen, on my taps, and, you know, it brings them up beautifully. Microfiber cloths, they are fantastic. If you want a streak-free shine, you know, they are brilliant. So if someone wants a completely eco-clean, that's fine, but they really do need to understand the trade-off, because it might take a bit longer. It may take more regular cleaning, and some products just might not be strong enough for what they need. You know, especially for the neglected areas. And that's not the cleaner failing, that's just chemistry. So use natural products where they work, reduce waste where you can. Don't use harsh products unnecessarily. Don't shame cleaners for needing products that actually remove mold, limescale and grease. After more than 10 years cleaning, you do become a bit of a product detective. You know what works and you know what doesn't. You learn which bottles are worth buying and which are just expensive perfume in a spray bottle. And you learn that people can be very emotionally attached to their eco products. So I tread carefully, but I will always be honest about what a product can and can't do. Because if a client is paying for a clean, then they really do deserve to know whether the products that they've provided are actually capable of doing the job. So no, I'm not anti-eco. I'm anti-products that don't work, and that's the difference. So if you're somebody that has a cleaner listening to this, please know that your cleaner isn't trying to be difficult when they ask for proper limescale remover, or a decent cloth, or a toilet brush. Oh my God, toilet brushes. The same guy that swapped microfiber cloths for the bamboo cloths. His toilet brush is one of those wooden ones with like natural bristles. Oh my God, they're a nightmare. You know, you're trying to scrub the toilet and all the bristles are just falling off in the toilet. Honestly, the toilet brush is nearly bald. Anyway, so yes, if you're a cleaner listening to this, I know you'll understand exactly what I mean. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow the Cleaning Lady podcast. And if you've ever had a cleaning product that promised miracles and delivered absolutely nothing, I would love to hear about it. See you next time.